Hello everyone, in this video we are going to talk about partogram. What is partogram? Well, you have many questions and you just want to know how it happens, It's not just like a video I'm going to describe you, I'm going to read you out. No, we are going to really understand what is partogram. Partogram is a graphical recording of labor along with maternal and fraternal monitoring. Okay, what we are doing here, we are actually graphically recording the events of labor. When the patient is in active labor, what we are doing here, we are just taking the measurements and putting them into the a graph. Okay, and that graph would just show us that how the labor is going on and what the measures that we can take and what we can accept and what the management we should do further depending on the graph. Okay, so let's see. Each and every graph has two axes. The x-axis, we put time in hours. This axis, what will we do? We'll put our time in hours, like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hour, 4 or 5 hour, like that. And on the y-axis here, we are going to put what? The dilatation of cervix in centimeter. Now you know this thing. The fully dilatation cervix is of 10 centimeter. Okay, next. One thing I want to remember you, very important. Partogram was actually invented in 1972 by Philpott and Carroll. But that partogram was uh, very detailed partogram, and actually a very detailed partogram. It is not easy to maintain all the partogram with all the patients. What is the need of partogram? The need of partogram is very much at the level uh, where the all medical facilities are not available. Small setups, the setups in the rural areas or setups in the very distance areas, in this kind of clinical setups or maternity homes, we need partogram. What we are doing here is we are just separating the high risk patients. We are separating the labor that can go worsen, and we can timely refer the patient to the higher center. That's why what WHO do is it modified the partogram, simplified the partogram, and nowadays only one partogram is used, that is WHO modified partogram. Okay, now when we start the partogram, we start the partogram only when the patient enters into the active labor. Earlier partograms were including the latent phase of labor also, but eventually we want to simplify the partogram, so we are now considering only active phase of labor. And you all know when the active phase of labor starts, it's about 5 to 6 centimeter. But here in WHO partogram, we took 4 centimeter as a cutoff for active labor. We start partogram at 4 centimeter dilatation. You got my point? Okay. Now, one thing very important is this. The think tank in WHO thinks that minimum progression of cervical dilatation is 1 centimeter per hour. It is a minimum. If the labor doesn't progress at least 1 centimeter per hour, then we can very surely say that the labor is not getting very well. It is prolonged labor. Okay, so 1 centimeter per hour is the minimum range. Below this rate, we can consider, yes, there is a prolongation of the labor. Okay, now if at any point of time, if in active phase of labor, if the progression of the labor just stops or it halts, even by 4 hours, then we take it as a arrest of the labor. Okay, for example, if the labor progression is not happening in active phase for more than 4 hours, that means the labor has been arrested and we need to take some action, very strong action. Okay, so that's why we are doing this partogram like here. See, in, as I mentioned earlier, x-axis, this axis, what we have mentioned is time in hours. We put time like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 11 or 12, and the green mark is of half an hour, 30 minutes. Okay, now in y-axis here we have put cervical dilatation in centimeter. Now we all know this, that we have started the partogram at active labor at 4 centimeter, so it starts with the 4 centimeter itself. Here it starts with the 4 centimeter, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 centimeters is the fully dilatation. So as WHO told you that minimum 1 centimeter per hour is the requirement. So this alert line you seeing, this is based on that very foundation, that the labor is progressing by 1 centimeter per hour. You can see here it was 4 centimeter, in 1 hour it becomes 5, in 2 hours it becomes 6, in 3 hours it becomes 7. Okay, so dilatation increasing by 1 centimeter per hour. So this area of partogram is a safe area. Why it is a safe area? Because whenever the patient's partogram is in this area, that means that the rate of the cervical dilatation is more than 1 centimeter per hour. Okay, so this is safe area. Now this is alert line. If any partogram at any point of the time crosses the alert line, that means that initially the rate of dilatation of the cervix was 1 centimeter per hour, but at some point of time here, when the cervix was 6.5 centimeter dilated, then it just started dilating, then it stopped dilating. Okay, this 6.5 centimeter is there, it's for long time, it is not further dilating, so it crossed the alert line. And when the partogram crosses the alert line, that means you need to consider, you need to see the patients very cautiously, you need to monitor the patient and fetus also, you need to rule out many things like CPD, maybe occipito-posterior position, malrotation, everything you have to just rule out. It may be inadequate uterine contractions, anything that can happen in this thing. Now, as I told you, if any point of the time the labor holds for 4 hours, see 4 hours, the difference between alert line and action line is of 4 hours. If any labor crosses the alert line, for example this labor is increasing with more than 1 centimeter of per hour dilatation rate, so when it reached to 8 centimeter it just stopped, it crossed the alert line, now it is not increasing, the cervical dilatation is halted, and after 4 hours it crosses the action line also. So what happens when the labor crosses the action line? When the partogram crosses the action line, that means there are higher chances of arrest of the labor, and it adverse the outcome of the labor. Now you need to take some action. What kind of action you should take? If your healthcare center is of rural area or distance area, you need to transfer the patient to higher center where all the facilities, ICU facilities, NICU facilities are available. But if you are already at the higher center, you need to continuously monitor the labor very very closely. If any problem happens, then you can go for cesarean section. In fact, you need to start prepare for the cesarean section. Okay, so action line cross is very very dangerous thing. Now let's go ahead. This is the real partogram I have shown you here. WHO, you can see here, WHO modified partogram. Now this till now what we have discussed is the cervicogram. That is the most important part of a partogram. But there are many more things there in partogram, not just cervical dilatation. This is the fetal heart rate column. You need to and each of this cell is of 30 minutes. Okay, so you need to see the fetal heart rate very frequently. For example, let's say at 15 minutes when the patient is in active labor, if it is a high risk patient, then you need to see the fetal heart rate at even 5 to 10 minutes. But if it is a low risk patient, you need to see the fetal heart rate at 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Okay, see, uh, I have seen the patient here and I am putting my finding at 140. You see here 140, then it was 150, then 150, then 140, then 150, this like this. So this makes the fetal heart rate chart. The second thing you are seeing here is amniotic fluid. Whenever there is a rupture of membrane, you need to see the fluid. Okay, if the membrane are not still ruptured and they are intact, you put I means intact membranes. If rupture happened and you see that amniotic fluid is clear, then you put C means clear. uh, Whenever you examine the patient, you put C like here, C like here. Okay, whenever you see meconium stained lacquer, you put M here, M. Okay, so this is how this column happening. The third column is of molding. Molding is a bone of the fetal skull are overlapping each other or not. This is how we see the molding. There are three grading, 1, 2 and 3. Whenever we examine the pervaginal examination of the patient, we see the molding and we put the degree of molding whenever we examine, like +1, +2, like that. Okay, now the third important part we have already discussed. This is the cervicogram. It starts at the 4 centimeter and it should go like this, normal label like this. If it crosses the alert line, you have to take some very actions, and if it crosses the action line, yes, go for cesarean section and send higher center. It's not like that whenever the partogram crosses the action line you need to do cesarean section. No, it's not like that. But now you need to seriously consider that cesarean section is an option. Okay, now the fourth thing we are saying is descent of the head. Now we just particize the fetal head into 5/5. This is when we do abdominal palpation of the pregnant lady, we see the head above brim. This is the brim of pelvis, that is the symphysis pubis, and how much of head fifths are still above. For example, if the all 5/5 are above the brim, that means the head is at all not engaged. But if you see that only 2 of the fifths of the head is seen. That means the head is inside the pelvis. Okay, so this is how we put here. Like it starts from the 4/5, 3/5, then 2/5, and then 1/5, like this. This is how you can graphicalize the thing, that the head is engaging continuously into the pelvis. Okay, now this is very important, the uterine contraction. What we are seeing here is we measure the uterine contraction in number per 10 minutes. For example, if we have examined the patient and we see that the last 10 minutes there are 4 contractions, so we see that this is 4 in contractions. Now we also see the intensity of the contraction. If the contraction is more than 40 seconds, then it is a strong contraction. If it is 20 to 14 seconds, that means it is a moderate contraction, and less than 20 seconds, that means weak contraction. So we put like that. If it is strong contraction, strong 4 contraction, we just put like this. This much of darkness should be there in the column 4. See, I have 4 cells I have just completed. Okay, if that patient has 2 contraction per 10 minutes of moderate quantity, then we put like this, 2 contraction. If that patient has only 1 contraction of moderate, of a weak contraction less than 20 seconds, we just put like dots and just fill 1 cell only. This is how we put uterine contraction. There is also the space for, if we have started some oxytocin or other drugs like that, we can just quantify and mention in this timeline also. Now this is the maternal vital monitoring. We put pulse and BP in this particular area. uh, Generally we do pulse and BP every 1 hour or accordingly. When we put pulse, for example the patient's pulse is 100, then we put a dot like it. We just put a dot like this. It should be in between the cells. Okay, now, oh my god, sorry. Okay, then if we put BP, that is, suppose 100/70 BP is there, 100 is systolic, 70 is diastolic, then we just do this. We just make a range for BP. Okay, there is a chart for temperature also. We need to put the temperature timely every 2 hourly. We need to do urine proteins every 2 hourly, so we need to put that also. So all over, what I'm saying is, the partogram is actually very helping, and it is a very graphical position of graphical recording or graphical image of the labor. Just seeing on partogram, an obstetrician can get idea of almost everything that is happening in the labor. So it is very, very useful tool. Thank you for this listening to me.